What's up and welcome back to another Kinda Funny Games live reaction for Summer Game Fest. We're doing the Capcom Showcase. We're just 5 seconds away. You know who the fuck we are. Tim, Andy, Blessing, and Greg Miller. Let's get right into it. Capcom, what do you got for me?
Kevin and I have both downloaded Monster Hunter Rise. Will they show something from Sunbreak so good today that we have to start playing tonight?
Oh,
that's the question, Andy.
We'll see it.
Give me a Street Fighter 6 early access beta.
I mean, Bless, me and you were talking about that at Game Fest. I feel like they might.
They got to be doing it because I keep talking about how they're marketing that game like it's coming out tomorrow. There have been so many like screenshots, trailers, footage. Oh, here we go. Street Fighter.
That sound effect sounded like Konami's intro.
Is there a codec from Metal Gear?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Capcom Showcase.
Oh no, I'm
where
thinking
we'll
of
share
Capcom's old
exciting new
intro.
updates on our upcoming games. We have some surprises in store. and
Uh-oh,
hope you
surprises.
Enjoy the show.
They used the word.
Let's begin.
Greg, strap the fuck in.
Hello, everyone. Amadioso Tsujimoto, producer
Andy, I
of the
feel like
Monster Hunter series.
Monster Hunter will be
Thank
a
you for
us kind of
tuning
game.
in to today's Capcom Showcase.
It's
We're
a
excited
lot.
to bring you the
Is
latest
my problem
info
with it.
on Monster
Look at
Hunter
this
Rise
shot!
Sunbreak, which will finally be released at the end of this month. To kick things off, we've got a brand new trailer.
Plus, why don't you play with me and Kevin?
Honestly, same
Let's take a
reason
look.
Andy just said. It seems like a lot.
I got really into Monster Hunter World when it first
Me
came
too.
out. It was,
We played together.
yeah.
You, me, and Kevin.
I put a lot of hours into it. It was fun.
Let's do it again here.
Can you just hop into Sunbreak?
Backlog
Do I need
season.
to worry about anything else?
There's too much to play right now.
Oh, I don't know what they are.
There is a lot.
Actually, no.
There is.
Elden Ring update happened.
How many fucking tentacles did they add to this piece of shit, huh? Look at that raptor. He's fucked up.
Greg, you can play this on PC.
Fuck no. I don't have a Steam Deck.
Dude, okay, if there was co-op crossplay, I would 100% play with you, Greg. But I don't want to play on Switch.
I understand.
Yeah, if I were to pick it up today, I think I'd have to pick it up on PC.
Sure.
I tried out the PC version of it, and it was so cool. It's like, damn, it's running at 144 frames per second. It looks a little bit better than the Switch version, right? Like, you could tell it's still lower in fidelity. It's got lower textures and shit, but I think they really fucked up not having crossplay.
Is the
Stream quality is rough, man.
okay?
And no, that's not through Discord.
No, yeah, it's not. It's Capcom's end.
Yeah, you're in the pre-show on both YouTube and Twitch running like that, right?
Yeah, you can see us chat. We're smooth.
You look like you still got that
It's
fire
them
inside
who's
you,
choppy.
old Gallius. You do as well, good elf.
Look at that. That's
Like
like a
it's
cat
a
man.
stable at
Steam ahead.
you know what we're getting when you're watching a Capcom stream.
They just really wanted to be upfront with like how the game's going.
On Switch, expect 14 frames per second
Oh
drop.
god, he looks sad. I don't want to hurt him.
It's like Shadow Colossus.
Oh no. Godzilla, no.
God.
The IGN feed isn't choppy. I don't know what to tell you. I'm on their YouTube channel, and it's the exact same way. But we got that gigabit here.
So get the fuck out of here, Max Scoville, on your alt account talking about IGN.
I mean, I could take us over to the Summer Game Fest feed as well. Rogers. is
Yeah,
sending
try
me
that.
All right. Give me a second here.
We ain't missing shit here.
I think it seems like we'll only be like maybe 20 seconds behind or something, but it's fine.
First, let me introduce a returning locale.
All right, give me a second here. Is that still sharing for you guys?
Huh?
Yep. Greg,
We're going to the
what
jungle,
dog do you
baby.
want the most? Oh, the
First,
jungle?
let me
You're gonna
introduce a
die.
returning locale.
Oh shit.
The jungle area that debuted in the second generation of Monster Hunter games is back in Sunbreak.
Espinas.
You'll notice that the jungle's appearance changes
That's wild,
over
they brought
time.
back the
It's a
jungle.
nostalgic area that both veteran hunters and new players are sure to enjoy. And of course, we've updated the jungle with new elements and endemic life specifically for its return in Sunbreak. Longtime fans
slime
can look
penises.
forward to exploring
Yeah,
the
there's a thing
devastated
that happens
ruins
when you
around
walk
the
out.
coastal area.
Sometimes if you play barefoot or if you play tackle football in the Rio Grande Valley,
From
like,
the
the
Monster
grass is
Hunter
really shitty and
Frontier
there's
series
spinas.
comes Espinas.
and little things will get stuck in you and they
Espinasse
poke you.
means
Like
thorns in
barbs or
Spanish.
livers.
As the name implies,
That's just little
thorny
pieces,
scales
I don't know.
cover its body.
They're not alive.
I just know that like I got a
Normally,
spina in my
Espinasse
fucking
enjoys
sock.
a quiet
No, they're not
life and
live. No,
sleeps
it's just a piece of
peacefully.
grass.
But when it senses danger nearby, it explodes into a violent rampage. Even though it can seem docile, Espinasse has a two-faced nature that can be extremely dangerous.
Yeah, why the fuck is IGN smoother than Capcom's?
The flagship
looks worse,
monster
though,
of
but-
Monster Hunter 4, Gore Magala, is back.
It's a Goldilocks situation here. Nothing's
Gore
gonna be
Magala
perfect.
is a
Lower
serious
quality.
creature with black scales and
Yeah, but like, where are they
sensitive
getting
wing
their
membranes
feet? That
used
their
to
feet
sense
That's what I'm
smooth.
saying, yeah. It makes no sense.
As Gore Magala's sensing ability increases, its two horns change form and it enters the frenzy state. While in a frenzy state, it gets so powerful that the ground beneath begins to break, and it uses
Take a
its
bite of
huge
my apple if
claws
y'all
as
don't
an
mind.
anchor during powerful
I'd appreciate it,
attacks.
honestly.
I mean, I feel like it was a coward's move to mute your mic so we didn't hear the crunch, but you know, that's just me.
Eating's a big part of Monster Hunter,
In
so
addition,
it's
the trailer also
You gotta
shows
sub
the
with
Daimyo
Prime Gaming
Hermitar,
in order to
and
hear
the
the crunch.
Pyrorachna subspecies, which adds explosive elements, makes its fiery debut. There are still more monsters that have yet to be revealed, so stay tuned for
Ew,
more
Spidey
Sunbreak
mouth.
announcements in the future.
I love the way the characters run. They look so
There's
doofy.
one more thing I want to share with you all,
One
so
more
please
thing.
watch the following video.
We will.
Are people still playing Dauntless? Ooh, good question, Backbone.
Oh.
One of my favorite things during showcases is when Blessing goes, "Oh," about something.
I can work with that. They're speaking to me, Tim. They're speaking to me.
But it's always like, I'm 40% interested.
Yeah, that's not enough to push him into actually playing it. But
Oh,
A
people
free
who like
demo
that
of
must be
Monster
into
Hunter
that.
Rise Sunbreak is
I'm
coming
happy
to
for
both
fans of
Nintendo
this.
Switch and Steam.
Good for
The
them.
demo will be available to download as shown. In the jungle locale introduced today, you'll be able to take on Astalos.
I like how she said "as shown" because
The new
when
Switch
they
skill
recorded
swap
this, they
system, as
definitely
well
didn't
as
say
new
they
silk
locked in
bind
yet.
attacks, will be available for play.
The date that you were
We'll
seeing
have
on
a few
screen.
tutorial quests available for new players that will teach you the basic mechanics and moves. After mastering the basics, you will be ready to take on other monsters in the demo to test your skills. For veteran hunters, an advanced quest will also be available where you can take on an extra challenging version of Sunbreak's flagship monster, Malzeno. The demo supports multiplayer for up to 4 players, and there's no limit to the number of times you can attempt quests. Get an early taste of Sunbreak action with this free demo. You can download it from the Nintendo eShop and Steam store page. Also, we would like for you to
notice,
keep
guys.
2 things in mind when purchasing Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. So you will be able
Is this
to
an
enjoy
AI
all the
voice or
added
is this a real
contents.
person?
It sounds like the TikTok AI voice.
Monster Hunter Rise.
My friend showed me the best toy I've ever seen.
Following Sunbreak's release, we plan to release a number of free title updates. Please enjoy this quick video preview of what's on the way.
Oh, how about that, Craig?
I mean, you can scoff all you want, all right? This is how you do it, Xbox. You have a date for something soon, and then you also talk about the future. You know what I mean? I saw everybody on the Twitter being mad. I understand.
Thank you, Roger.
Harry Last Guardian.
Lucent.
Narga
Our first
Kuga.
title update scheduled for
I
August
wasn't gonna try.
2022.
I looked at it and I was like, you know what?
We'll
No.
add Narga Kuga. This monster will be a part of the first free title update to come to Sunbreak post-launch. In addition to the Lucent Nargacuga, we're also adding a new area, the iconic Forlorn Arena. With future title updates, we plan on including additional monsters, variants, and more. Our title update release schedule is as follows. The second title update is planned for a fall 2022 release. The third title update will come in winter 2022.
What was the first game that
And there's
started
more
doing
to come
roadmaps
in
like this?
2023.
Where they laid it out season by season.
Each
in this
title
exact
update will
format.
include additional monsters and other elements. We hope you'll check them out.
It's hard to say because it was probably something that wasn't being taken seriously. Probably one of some PC game. With an online connected audience, we weren't paying
I
attention.
feel like
We've seen an uptick in like that
Monster
exact.
Hunter Rise
Well, I mean,
Sunbreak
it's so good.
will be
It's such a
released
great way to
worldwide
explain what
on
you're
June
doing.
30th,
I feel like maybe
2022.
PUBG or something like that. Like, here's the content we have planned in the future. You can play in this
Digital pre-orders for
location.
Sunbreak are now
There's a new map
available
coming,
on
all
both
that sort of
Nintendo
shit.
Switch and Steam. Pre-orders will also receive a special bonus Palamute and Palico layered armor set.
Oh my gosh. They're so cute.
We're planning on keeping you updated with more information soon.
We're planning with keeping
Please
you
visit the
updated.
official website and follow
Thanks,
Monster
guys.
Hunter social channels for more info. That wraps up our news for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy
Damn,
the
I'm way
rest
ahead
of
of
the
you on the
Capcom
Discord.
showcase.
Shit.
Don't watch. Don't do it. Don't ruin it for yourself.
Now we will present the Capcom
be an arm
Spotlight
name.
Corner.
Nah.
Nitro Rifle's not a team
Street
player.
Fighter 6.
It just looked a
Coming
little
soon.
bit better on the
The next generation of Street Fighter is currently in development
On
and
the
has
feed of a
something fun
feed.
for everyone to enjoy.
That's somehow
Fan
smoother than
favorites
the real
Ryu
feed.
and Chun-Li will be heating up the battle stage right alongside some of the newest fighters, Luke and Jamie.
I love how much hip hop they have in this.
With breathtaking new visuals, unleash unprecedented battles with the all-new battle system. Street Fighter 6 reimagines the fighting
Wes and I
game
played
experience
this, and in
with
the
new
post-show
modes
for
that
this,
will
we're gonna
allow you
give
to
our
experience
impressions.
The Street Fighter universe.
Really sad we didn't get to
What
experience
awaits you in this
before.
game?
Yeah.
Look forward to
That's
our
like the
next
one thing I really
announcement
wanna
later
check
this
out.
year.
Was that not available?
Celebrating
no,
the
it was
35th
just like versus
anniversary
fights
of
with
the
a
Street
handful of
Fighter
characters.
franchise, the Capcom Fighting Collection will be released later this month. Included
Very
is
excited for
the
this.
first ever release of Red Earth outside
never
of
played
arcades,
Darkstalkers before.
Hyper Street Fighter 2,
I'm excited to just turn on Maximilian
Five
Dude's stream and just be like, all right, here's a random fighting game he's playing
Ten
that
of
I've
the
never
best
heard
fighting
of.
games from the arcade era
was
are
there.
included in one
I
pack.
saw it, yeah.
Yeah.
All of the titles
Like I was
included
just
will be
hanging out the Street
playable
Fighter 6 booth and he
online.
just comes up and like stands next to me
So
watching the
play
thing. I'm
Magic
like, should I
against your
introduce myself?
friends.
You should have.
Or
Him
fight
and
online
Sarah
against
Bond
new
are the only two
challenges.
people I didn't get to say hi to.
Enjoy
Oh.
a
I
full
got nervous,
range of
man. I was like,
online
dude, I
matches.
watched a lot of your content in the last 2 weeks.
No, just look over him and be like,
Capcom Fighting
"You wanna square up?"
Collection will launch on June 20th.
I thought about
Roll
that
talk.
too. I really thought about that too.
Pre-orders are available now. Please visit the official website for more information. Play the games you loved again. Capcom Arcade Stadium has expanded.
Y'all just want to start the
Capcom Arcade
Gamescast?
Second Stadium is opening July 22nd, 2022.
I think I have the demo for this one because there's one game in here that
Saturday
I was like, I want
Night
to check
Slam
out. I think it was
Masters.
Street Fighter that I wanted to check
Magic
out.
Sword.
Tim, have you checked out Maximilian's
Black Tiger.
live reaction to Street
Eco
Fighter 6 from the
Fighters,
State of Play?
No, I
and
haven't.
more.
I think you'd appreciate
Combined
it
for
because
a
it is
total
like the
of
most like
32 arcade
reactionary. Like he's mad hype
In
the
addition
whole
to a
time. I've
bundle
never
that features
seen
all
Maximilian
32
dude like
titles,
look
each
that
title
fucking
is
excited
available
for
for
anything.
individual
My
purchase and
favorite
features.
reaction stream of all time is
lots
Max
of
reacting to
quality of
Cloud
life
in Smash
functions.
Brothers.
Oh yeah,
It's incredible.
I need to go back and see that.
All
I'm very
players
new to
will
this content.
receive Sun for free.
I love
when
watching
downloading
him
the base
turn on
game.
Demon Souls for the first time on
The
PS5 and be
bundle
like, oh my
featuring all
god,
32
look at
titles
the
is
way this
available for
fucking thing
pre-order
looks.
now.
I can't believe
Get
this is
Display
real.
Frame Set 1 as a bonus for pre-ordering. To celebrate, get the Capcom Arcade Stadium title Street Fighter 2: The World Warrior,
That's the one I
free
downloaded.
for a limited time. We hope you try out the Capcom Arcade Stadium as well. Next up is an update on Capcom's new team-based action game, Exoprimal.
Exo Prime.
Not Diamond Dust.
We're sorry we got your hopes up.
I'm Takuto
We apologize for
Hiraoka,
last
director
time.
of Exoprimal. We have a new trailer to show today that includes lots of gameplay. Let's take a look.
World
I
Prime.
am the artificial intelligence, Leviathan. Your personnel data indicates you are a suitable specimen to join an ongoing experiment. Under
Zordon.
my supervision, Ibius Corp conducts its most
Rangers.
important research here. Welcome to Bikitoa Island.
Guess what? It's not a
You have
test,
been
everybody. That's a
selected
big
for
twist.
A live combat test.
Oh my god, you don't
You
think
weren't
so?
just playing a game, you're preparing for the future. With
Oh, man,
Dino.
you're so ahead of us, just so you know.
My
Oh, shit,
archives
word.
encompass exhaustive records.
You're like only like a
of
second.
human
Every time you say something, it then happens, and I'm like, oh yeah,
These
I get
annals
the
are
joke.
riddled with errors and institutional bias. Your species
The
is
jokes are so ahead of their
susceptible
time.
to mass delusion.
Just watch the stream.
Shut up, Andy.
Humans dread the other. You seek to evolve, yet you do not.
Andy, what kind of dinosaur is that again?
You tear down.
I didn't see.
Yet
We're behind.
The next one.
Even when what is revealed is of your own creation.
The exoprimal.
The Pachycephalosaurus.
Combat data is required to develop the exosuit. At
Sniper
IDs,
Girl looks
we're
cool.
always reaching for better.
What's your favorite dinosaur, Andy?
Humanity resists quantification.
Favorite dinosaurs? Honestly,
Within your behavior
I think an
lies the
underrated
answer.
dinosaur
What
is the
variable
Ankylosaurus.
shall become fixed.
I love the big. It's got like it looks like it's
Tail
got two
things?
testes at the end of the tail. Yeah, but they're made out of just straight bone.
Damn.
Boner. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm a big pterodactyl guy. I feel like they don't get enough love.
Their name's spelled stupid.
Pterodon.
That is true. That is true.
I call your attention to the unstoppable raptor horde. Calculating chance of employee retention. Chance
Although the one with
calculated
feathers, the
at
creepy one in Jurassic World
8.7%.
Dominion. Oh god
You must
dang.
fight harder than
That
ever
one's
if
shooting
you
up the
wish to
list.
survive.
Blind one?
A more grueling combat
Yeah.
experiment
In about
is
a
called
week,
for.
that might be rank
You will
1.
now
We'll see.
witness a small fragment
Oh my god, look at that guy.
Posted.
You need to keep fighting until we can figure out how to destroy the body.
I'm actually kind of digging this a little bit, but my hot take critique is that I think it's too many dinosaurs.
What?
Yeah, it got like a
hundreds
Days
of
Gone
dinosaurs.
vibe almost with like the horde of dinosaurs crawling
Yeah,
all
like
over
World
each
War
other.
Z type shit. I'm like, I don't want to just like, give me something to aim at.
hope you
know?
enjoy
You
Make
want,
it
you
meaningful.
want dinosaurs with
Now,
personality. Yeah,
I
you
will
want
get
an
into more
evil
detail
dinosaur you're
about the
hunting.
game.
I mean, I just pared down the like half as many
Developed
dinosaurs.
by
I'd be
Ibius
good with.
Corporation, Leviathan is a next-gen
Yeah, I feel like
AI
half of
that
them you're
guides
just gonna be
players
mining
throughout
them for ore and
exoprimal
nothing
via
interesting.
voice navigation
Exactly.
and augmented reality displays. Leviathan appears before players as a massive human-like figure, or as a
I
surveillance
just don't like
drone
the
called
Left
a
4 Dead
Watcher.
clones where it's like I'm shooting everywhere.
The trailer shows
And I'm
Leviathan
just like spraying and like just trying to clean it. It's almost like you're vacuuming up like, zombies or whatever. as
Players
opposed to,
will
like,
battle
actually
these
shooting.
dinosaurs after being forced into Leviathan's
like a
infinitely
traveler,
repeating war games. Why is Leviathan bringing dinosaurs into our world? And why is Leviathan repeating these war games?
Yeah, come on, Leviathan.
Solve the mystery
Chill
by
out.
playing
Why is
the
he
main
doing
game
this?
mode,
Why is he repeating this?
Dino Survival.
Leviathan pops up. You'll have to wait and see.
Provide a brief gameplay introduction.
You can find that in
It's a shitty
2023.
variant.
Primal is a
Until next
team-based
time,
action
here's the next Capcom game.
In Dino Survival, 2 squads of 5.
I think another big
race to
problem with
complete
having all
objectives.
those hordes is
Teams must follow Leviathan's
you
directives
can't really
and complete the
process that
mission
many,
before their rivals to
so
win.
everything in the distance runs at like 20
These
frames per
directives will
second,
feature a dynamic mix of missions.
by design,
In fact,
so that
we
it doesn't
just saw
chug too
some in
much,
the
but it
latest
just
trailer.
looks silly as hell.
There's Dinosaur Cull, where teams must eliminate a specific dinosaur.
Like,
Jesus,
look
that's
at
a lot of
Peaceful
dinosaurs.
defense,
That's
teams
more
protect
than,
a
you know,
grounded
what you'd expect
aircraft
from
from
Left 4 Dead.
dinosaur onslaughts. In data key security, teams escort a valuable
It just doesn't
asset to
value the
its
life of
destination.
dinosaurs. Bless, I'm with
Destroy
you.
targets
Like,
in
they've
Omega
already been
charge
through
with
it.
the powerful
It's an
Omega
Ankylosaurus
hammer.
right there.
We don't need a second
The
extinction.
energy taker,
Except for the
teams
game's second
compete to
extinction.
collect the most energy. You also saw
Honestly, I
a
might
glimpse
rather
of a
play second
strange
extinction.
and terrifying creature.
I don't know if I
known
want
as a
Zordon talking.
Neotyrannosaurus. While there are situations where you directly
I probably would
engage
also want
enemy
to rather
players,
play second extinction.
there
I do
are other
like
times
the
where you band together with
weird like
rivals
tech
to
stuff they
take
got
down
going
a
on.
major
Like
foe.
these anthems.
Yeah, I like
This
the
variety of
mechs.
missions will keep players on their toes.
And cool
In Dino
energy
Survival,
shield.
the missions change based on players' progression through the game. The experience will be different every time you play, even in matches with familiar surroundings and
Man, if
objectives.
Bioware just like
By playing Dino Survival,
made
you'll
Anthem a
unlock
single
story
player
sequences
RPG, god
and also
dang.
earn rewards such as
That game felt
experience
so good to
points
play.
to increase your player and exosuit levels.
What a loss.
We'll provide more
What a
details
loss.
about this at a later date.
Later
Now that
date.
we've detailed Dino Survival, let's move on to exosuits. We showed 2 new exosuits today.
Dr. Fax in chat says, I regret watching this.
Mirage is an assault role exosuit. It uses explosives to set areas ablaze and bombards enemies with ricochet grenades.
I'm not mad at this type of showcase because, like, I feel like,
Vigilant is also an assault role
especially since
exosuit.
we've gotten the big Capcom announcements and other
It
things,
wields
it's
a
less
destructive railgun
expecting a
to
giant
strike from
surprise
long
and more like,
range.
yeah, they are just updating
We
their
have
catalog
even
and shit.
more exosuits to share
Yeah,
with
like,
you
this
in the
is
future.
exactly what I
So look
expected this to
forward
be.
to upcoming announcements.
Which I'm actually pretty fine with because I'm just looking for
We
more
have
Street
one
Fighter
last
6 updates,
announcement for
Resident Evil
today.
4 updates. What if they did have a
To my
Pragmata?
research facility.
You know, it'd be a surprise.
We're conducting a closed network test for Exoprimal.
Everybody give it to Bless, please.
Players
Give
will
me-
be able
give me
to
for-
try the
for
game
Mama.
ahead of release.
The game
Bless,
that
do you
looks like
think they're
Kojima.
gonna do Land Before Time DLC for this game?
Help us test the game's
Could you
online
imagine?
infrastructure and make
They
improvements
better do some
ahead of
Jurassic
launch.
World
Yeah,
Fallen
dinosaurs.
Kingdom.
Sign up to participate today.
We need more dinosaur
Where's
crossovers in
Littlefoot?
game.
Not for Dominion.
Where
though,
the
Greg.
fuck is Little
No,
Foot?
Allow you to
no.
experience
No,
There's
dinosaur
gonna be a
survival
Fallen
before the
World
game's launch
tie-in
next
from
Just
week.
doing
a
Fallen
movie from
Kingdom.
4 years
Just
ago.
doing Fallen Kingdom. That's where
Someone
everybody
in the
knows.
chat says Littlefoot will be a boss fight.
That's all for today.
All the worldies like me know that's where the series really stopped. All
We
right.
plan to
This
release
one, this is
Exoprimal
this doesn't
in
matter. This isn't a real
2023.
one.
Fucking world.
The beginning of the end.
Until then, keep an eye on our
Beginning
website
of the
and
Jurassic
social
World
media.
Fallen Kingdom.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Next, we have a message about Dragon's Dogma, which recently celebrated its 10th anniversary.
Here you go, dorks.
I should play this, right?
Yeah.
Everybody just says it's like cool game.
Whoa.
Hi everyone, I'm Hideaki Itsuno,
10 years
game
of the
director at
dog.
Capcom. A few weeks ago, we celebrated the 10th anniversary of Dragon's Dogma. Thanks to all of you for joining us in this celebration.
Tim, you want that jersey?
The world of Dragon's Dogma
Last one goes
has
down.
since spread to various different kinds
You can
of
go out with
media,
James Burke though in his
ranging
Giants
from
jersey.
games
You'll have that
such as
jersey.
Dragon's Dogma Expansion, to digital comics and a Netflix original animated series. In the coming days, we will be releasing a video celebrating 10 years of Dragon's
Cool.
Dogma,
Guys, there's a video.
talking about how and what.
I feel like Dragon's Dogma
came
is
to
the
be.
fantasy version of
So
Spec
whether
Ops:
you're
The
a
Line.
longtime fan or just curious about the
I
series,
really want to know
we'll have something
what that
for you to
means.
enjoy. We hope you.
Like it's a game
Check
that's
it out.
beloved but never
Once
quite
again,
hit
thank
the
you all
massive
so much.
amount of fans that the fans think it
People
deserves.
talk, yeah, the fans who love it talk about it all the time. Like it's
And
amazing.
Yeah.
now we have a
Yeah.
bunch of updates from the Resident
I
Evil.
thought
A
you were
bunch of
gonna say
updates for Resident Evil, guys.
Hell yeah, baby.
I thought you were gonna say there's like some crazy twist
Hello
to Dragon's
everyone,
Dogma
I'm
that I didn't
Tsuyoshi
know about.
Konda, the producer of Resident Evil Village. Thanks to all of our fans, Village has sold over 6 million units worldwide. Everyone on
Apologize.
the team is incredibly
Would have sold
happy to
more
see
if Greg
so many
didn't
people
talk
enjoy
shit
the
about
game.
it so much.
Apologize.
Thank you for your
DLC,
support.
baby.
The Resident Evil series continues to bring fun experiences to people around the world. We want longtime fans and people who are new to Resident Evil to enjoy this storied franchise. Let's start with this video.
World premiere.
Oh shit.
Whoa,
Oh,
man.
fucking shit.
Holy shit.
The end of this game felt like a fever dream.
I was gonna say, Andy, remember when we finished this on stream? You and Mike were just like, what the fuck, man?
Chris doesn't know what I can do.
Fell off a cliff.
I want to live a normal life.
Is the DLC taking place after the game?
That's awesome. This is best case scenario for me.
No way.
She's definitely. Ew, something just moved on her hand. Shut up.
People in chat are like, is this a spoiler? The answer is yes.
Yeah, it's
It
huge
is.
spoiler.
It's 100%
Huge
spoiler.
But you're the same chat that wants to yell at me about how great this game is, so I'm sure you all played it. I'm sure you're all right there.
Got him, Greg.
And I'm gonna play this, Barrett.
Will be better
And I'm
than
gonna
the
hate
media,
it.
though.
And I'm gonna fucking stream me cursing at it every 5 seconds.
It was cool, the hat.
Oh no!
Oh,
Fatty's
shit.
back. He's wearing masks.
No, what?
Fatty man going bad. Shadows of Rose.
I'm into it.
Oh, it's tough.
Marking the target.
Remember Mercenaries?
I don't.
Andy, I don't.
What next?
Did they ever release Reverse? RE-verse?
No, they didn't. I'm sure we're gonna hear about it, Bless.
Shut up, they didn't?
That was supposed to come out day and date with Resident Evil Village.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Now I can see his dumb ass. Instead of just hearing
what
his
everybody
dumb ass.
wanted, just to see his dumb face all the time.
That's really interesting. That's for sure, like, yo.
That's kind of cool. I'd rather play it in third person. That's scary.
Oh, reverse.
It's coming. There was that one picture.
We're happy to reveal the DLC.
That's for sure. Then
Resident
building up hype
we
for
promised
RE4
last June.
with the third person. That's cool.
We think this new experience will be worth the wait. This DLC includes 3 major features.
10 minutes
First,
left.
the third-person mode. Many people asked for this, and we were able to add it into the game. Now, you'll be able to see Ethan as he desperately fights for survival. Players that have already experienced Ethan's journey can enjoy the new perspective and animations too. The Mercenaries Returns with additional orders in an arcade-style action game where focus has been put on the exhilarating feeling of defeating relentless hordes of enemies. New stages are included, as well as additional playable characters, such as Chris Redfield and Heisenberg. Of course, Lady Dimitrescu will be there too. We've really fueled this mode up. Enjoy looking down on your foes from over 9 feet above, as Lady Dimitrescu slashes her enemies aside.
I love that.
The third edition is one you've surely been waiting for. An additional story, Shadows of Rose. Today, let me introduce just a bit of this story.
Remy says, "Are spoilers over?" No, this is the
beloved
thick
daughter
of
of the main protagonist, Ethan, is now a grown-up
huge
main
spoiler right
character
there.
in this new story mode.
Bo Flux, thanks
In
for
this
gifting
sequel
10
to the
subs,
main
Bo Flux.
story of Village, you can experience
They just had
Rose's
the
struggles
audacity
with
to
the
call her a
terrifying
beloved
powers She was
character.
born with. To break
Hey, we
free
went
of
through a
the
lot
curse
to
of
save
her
her.
powers,
Yeah, we
she
went through so
enters
much
the
to save that baby.
consciousness of the
Remember how I
Mega
went and got
Messi.
all her organs out of weird urns that were in the ground?
There, she meets
Remember
a
when
girl
she was all
who looks
topped up?
just
and you had to
like
find her
her.
We did it only
limbs?
because the game
In this
required it. Like, I would have
mysterious
given
realm
up
of
real fast.
consciousness, Time and space is warped beyond recognition.
Felt more like
Rose
a...
is guided by a being who
I'm
calls
telling you, I'm not
himself
asking you.
Michael, who might be of assistance with removing her powers. Shadows of Rose is set completely in a third-person perspective. In the realm of consciousness, you won't only face creatures, but the world itself seems to be attacking you.
Are they giving up
Enjoy
on
the
first
horror
person?
of the world itself being your greatest enemy.
For Shadows of Rose, they sure are.
How will Rose find freedom from her mysterious powers?
This is such a weird
The
direction for
DLC
RE.
for Resident Evil Village
Her
Winter's
clones and
expansion
shit, like,
includes
I
all
don't
3
know,
of these
man.
major additions. In addition, Resident Evil Village Gold Edition, a bundle of Winter's expansion with the base game.
It seems
will be
pretty
released
on like,
simultaneously.
par for me.
The release date is planned for October 28th.
Did they not have
2022.
RE-verse in that like pack?
Resident Evil
Here
RE-verse
you
will
go.
also begin
Oh,
service
finally,
on the
thank
same
God.
Same date, October 28th, it's
28th,
happening.
2022.
Oh, let's go.
We hope that you are looking forward to
Now,
it.
Greg, should you replay Village, but in third person? Do you think you'll like it more?
How did you like
I mean, I
that?
definitely would prefer that perspective, in all honesty,
Also,
but I'm not going
as
to replay it
already
for it.
announced,
I'm very
we're
caught up on
working
how we got
making
to
the
Shadows
main
of Rose.
story
I'm all
of
set.
Village available on Mac, so that even
But
more
speaking of
people
catching
can
up,
enjoy
Buttered
Resident
Biscuit in the
Evil.
chat says, I don't care what Greg says, RE8
In
was my
addition,
game of the
the
year.
main
I thought it
story
was
of Village
phenomenal.
is planned to
And
be
so what I say,
playable on
Buttered Biscuit, is
PlayStation
what was the
VR2.
name of the horse that
working
kicked
hard
you in the
on
head
bringing
when
you
you fell
the
down the
ultimate
stairs,
immersive
all right?
experience worthy of
What was
next
it? Was it
gen in Resident
Clobbers?
Evil Village. So look forward to
The
future
Clobbers
announcements.
do this to you, Buttered Butt Biscuit.
Up next, a game that was announced
That's a bad
just a few
Clobbers.
days ago.
I told you to stop kicking these kids upstairs. They hit their head all the time. They wake up. Everything's wrong. Left is right. They don't know what's going on. I say, pour me a glass of water. He brings me a beer.
Remember when you thought that if we tried hard enough, you could teach the whole horses how to speak and do math?
I was just saying, has anybody tried? There's a difference.
Tim, you gotta know that when we're at the airport, the 3 of us, on our way back, I'm standing next to Greg waiting for our terminal to open, and Greg leans to me and is like, "It'd be pretty bad if a horse got loose in here. It wouldn't go well."
It's an angry horse.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, an angry horse.
sure.
A lot of people would make it out alive.
I'm still so stoked this is real. I know we all knew for like 2 years now, but like, damn, they're doing it.
It's gonna look so good, just what they do lighting-wise to it. So much more atmospheric. It's a good word.
Guess you,
It is a good word.
me, picked the wrong spot to vacation, eh?
Dude, next gen Ada though.
Receive our most sacred body. It begins now.
If I could just forget what happened that night. The pain. Even for a second. This time, it can be different.
Damn, his hair's got sheen.
Maybe he's born with it.
Are they not about to show gameplay?
Hi everyone, I'm Yasuhiro Anpo, director of Resident Evil 4.
And I'm Yoshiaki Hirabayashi, producer of Resident Evil 4. This title is a reimagining of Resident Evil 4, based on the original 2005 release. Similar to other titles in the series, we are carefully preserving what makes the original title special, while updating it with modern flourishes for everyone to enjoy when it launches in 2023.
Happy birthday, Matt Batson.
Today, we'll reintroduce a bit
He
of
says
the
he's
game's
hesitant
story.
evil about this one.
Resident Evil 4 is set 6
I don't think he
years
is. I
after the
think he just
events
wanted
He just
to
needed
do
the
it.
pun.
Yeah, he just
Resident
needed to
Evil
say
2 and Resident Evil 3. The main character of the game, Leon S. Kennedy, survived the Raccoon City incident and was assigned as an agent directly under the President of the United States. Leon is dispatched to a quiet village in Europe as part of a mission to rescue the kidnapped daughter of
The
the
president.
president.
I was doing a little scene.
You might notice Leon is much more mature and fearless due to his past experiences. The Ganado, the main enemies of this game, wait for him. The experience of being attacked by hordes of crazed Ganado is truly an iconic moment from Resident Evil. In order to truly bring out the concept of terror of people controlled by madness, the Ganado have been completely redesigned.
Let's take a closer look at the game itself.
Cool.
Thank God.
The over-the-shoulder camera returns, of course. Leon arrives at a dense and dangerous forest.
Ninfrendo in chat says,
We
I
want
live
to
in Europe
nail
and
the
we certainly
feeling
don't
of
have zombie
loneliness and
villages.
fear of not
Sure
knowing
you
what
don't.
lies
That's what you
ahead.
want me to say.
Even more so
I come
than
over
the
there
original.
now. What do I get? Zombie Village.
Of course, there will also be thrilling battles. People that played the recent Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 should find this familiar. Look forward to future announcements, where we'll have more information on the game.
Resident Evil 4 is being developed for PlayStation 5, Xbox
what?
Series X, Series S, and PC.
Hold on after that
The
PS4
release
version.
date will be March 24th, 2023.
We are aiming to create a Resident Evil 4 that everyone can enjoy, so please look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you
I
so
voiced
much.
some of the Mexicans there. They have some Mexicans there in Spain as well.
Give me a couple reads of the dialogue.
Chingahue, no mames! Like, I'm the one who's scared of Leon.
Nailed it.
What did you think about the latest information on Resident Evil Village and Resident Evil 4? Both games are currently in development. For those that can't wait for the release, check out the following games.
Oh, good.
Oh, we finally getting 2 and 3 next gen.
You're getting them all.
Great time watching
Man.
Bless play this.
How good was 7?
Remember when Bless got lost and he was just so drunk and terrified?
So drunk.
Do it again.
What did he think the bugs were? When he was like,
Oh,
scorpions? Is that right?
Scorpions, yeah. God, RE2 remake was
So good.
Remember when we got codes for this game and we had like a day to play it?
And we did.
And we did it. The game is now.
It was like, what, 5 hours or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I think Tim hit me up at the beginning of the day and was like, "Hey, we got codes for Resident Evil 3. You have like a day to beat it." And I sat down. That was my work day, and I was like, "Oh,
horror roots
that was easy."
And the reimagining.
And then you went to lunch and you came back and you did some podcasts.
And Resident Evil 3. These 3 titles, built with RE Engine, return with current-gen features including support for 4K, high frame rate, and ray tracing.
Yeah, I kind of want to replay
as
RE2
well as
now.
3D audio for an even more immersive experience. These titles are available for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and Series S
today.
In addition, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One players can enjoy a free digital upgrade to current gen via the Digital Upgrade Program and Smart Delivery. For PC
nice.
users,
I'm glad they
an
did that.
update patch will be available on the same date. For newcomers and veterans of survival horror alike, we hope you enjoyed the immersion these new versions offer.
Welcome to the family.
Vin Diesel.
That's all for today's announcements. Thank you.
That's a weird thing to say.
That wraps up today's show. We hope you're as excited as we are about some of our upcoming games. Thank you to everyone, new and old fans alike, for tuning in. We look forward to sharing more updates with you soon.
There you have it. We are going to take out a look at our sponsors. And then when we get back, we are going to talk about. We thought.
Did you get kicked by Cloppers too?
You know what? Cloppers is coming through. I saw him at the airport bathroom. It's a whole thing. Anyways, Barrett, please run that. This episode is brought to you by Athletic Greens. I've been using AG1 the last few months because I figured it was well past time I start thinking about vitamins, but I'm usually not the biggest fan of their format. So being able to drink a flavored water is much more up my alley. And I'm a huge fan here of the fact that it doesn't taste super healthy. It kind of has like this mild tropical taste to it that I look forward to every morning. With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. It's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/kindafunny. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/kindafunny to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. athleticgreens.com/kindafunny. This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved only for big businesses to everyone. So upstarts, startups, established businesses, content creators alike can sell everywhere, synchronize online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed. I love how Shopify has the tools and resources that make it easy for any business to succeed, from down the street to across the globe. Our content creator friends use Shopify to manage all their merch sales and stuff, and I recently got Gia a pair of Allbirds from the Allbirds website, which also uses Shopify. So that's an example of big websites using Shopify for their sales. You can gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting on conversion rates, profit margins, and to help you supercharge your knowledge of your sales and your success. You can go to shopify.com/KFgames, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial, and you can get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/KFgames right now. That's shopify.com/KFgames for a free 14-day trial. Shopify.com/KFgames. So here we are, boys. Time to give our thoughts about the latest showcase from Summer Games Fest, Capcom's showcase. We're going to give our impressions of the show, and then we're going to end this with Blessing and I's impressions from our hands-on preview with Street Fighter 6. Greg Miller, let's start with you. Let's do the rating thing, what we give this on the kind of funny scale. 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 2 bad, 3 okay, 4 great, and 5 amazing. What'd you think of this?
Oh, man. What a tough question. I feel like this is what I expected from Capcom, which doesn't make it good by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think this was a good presentation. I think, as always, the games are interesting. What they were working on is cool or whatever, but like, this was not must see. You know what I mean? Like, this was at least bad. Like, and it might have even been terrible, but it doesn't mean that the content was terrible. But like, okay, if you were a Capcom fan, you tuned in for this, and you were, hopefully ready to see some more stuff about. I mean, they gave a lot of information about Sunbreak. That's great if you're excited for that, right? But then I felt like everything else was kind of, looking through it again, weak, right? Like, I guess Resident Evil Village getting Shadows of Rose and talking about that's cool or whatever. But like, what was the must watch out of this? What was the thing? I think this is a 1 out of 5. This is terrible.
Andy Cortez.
I'd say this is bad only because we were able to get this glimpse at Shadows of Rose, and I think that's a pretty neat reveal that it seems like a lot of people in the chat talking about Resident Evil, that this is something they come to expect from how Resident Evil does their stories and how wacky the things can get. Exoprimal, that's a game that I think looks mildly interesting, but they focus too long on these things, and I feel like
they don't show them in an exciting way, right? Like, it could be
Yeah.
interesting. Were you excited by it? Were you like, I gotta go play Exoprimal?
No, I just feel like it's almost like they have this quota in mind that they need to hit time-wise, and it just kind of drags on, and it's very, very uninteresting in the way that they show them. So yeah, this gets a 2 out of 5 for me, but it's almost a 1. It also doesn't help that I'm just not really interested in a whole lot of these games anyway. So that certainly doesn't help, but yeah, this gets a 2 out of 5 for me.
Bless.
Yeah, I think I'm also at a 2 out of 5. I think Andy mentions the quota thing, and I feel like that's almost why they have the showcase. It feels like it's hey, it's June, we have games to show, let's show the games. But like the stuff that they have to show is all stuff that we know about and stuff that they've shown at State of Play, right? Like, we've seen most of the stuff already, and there's not really enough new stuff here to keep this interesting. I do think that the Resident Evil 8 DLC is probably the most exciting stuff out of the bunch, but even that, like, I feel like half the time we were laughing at it. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like Capcom could like pull back and go, hey, like, let's give shit to Jeff Keighley, or let's give more shit to PlayStation, lean all the way in. And I don't know why they don't do it.
Yeah, I think a lot of stuff would have been better served to be on Keighley's stage. I think if they would have gone and done this Resident Evil Village Gold / Shadows of Rose announcement or whatever, you could have put that into a trailer that actually sang, and that was actually cool, and that actually was, oh shit, that's fucking really rad.
Yeah, I was saying it during this thing. It's a hard one to give a score, because I think that I want to be harsher on it for being during this week and for being next to all these other showcases, because it kind of like makes it seem even lamer than it actually is. But I feel like they set the expectations for what this is. We knew what it was going to be. And at the end of the day, I got Resident Evil Village DLC, which I didn't necessarily expect to get from this, especially the single player stuff. So I am excited for that. Don't love the direction they're going with it. I am very stoked about it being post RE Village story wise. That's cool. But the direction they're going, I'm like, I don't know that that's where I'd want to see Rose, but maybe I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. In terms of giving this one a score, I think the presentation of it all, like, I think that Capcom showing off all its games and kind of just giving an update on its library, like, it's okay. Like, they got a good thing going for them here, where it wasn't too long, and it was meaty in terms of information on each of the games. And if you're a Monster Hunter fan, like, I'm sure there was a lot of stuff there that was for you, in the same way that I'm a big Resident Evil person. And sure, none of this news was like extremely impressive, but the 7, 2, and 3 remakes getting next gen updates for free today, that's the type of info that I'd expect from this thing. And they did that. I just think that with the context of where they positioned this and how they positioned it, and we just did see Resident Evil 4 and Street Fighter 6 get shown off in, I think, more interesting ways recently, I would probably give this a 1 or a 2. If I had to choose one, I'd probably go 2, just because this did have some things I actually liked from it. But yeah, it's definitely an example of sometimes you don't need to do these things, and it can hurt your brand a bit when you kind of position yourself next to other people that are doing exciting stuff. Greg?
I want to clear, you called out there that, you're not into these things or whatever, right? And some of them you weren't into or whatever. And I obviously am very much in the book. A lot of these games weren't my jam whatsoever. But I think even that said, I'm not saying that I thought it was a terrible presentation because they weren't my kind of games. I think the way they presented them was bad. Like I think Exoprimal did not excite in any way in terms of the presentation and how they showed it. I think Dragon's Dogma's announcement being that there's going to be an announcement in a couple days for a video is weak as hell. That's again a blog post. That's an email. You know what I mean? For Street Fighter 6, what did they say today that we didn't know before? For a game you guys are jazzed about, you're coming off of, and so you start picking it apart, and it's like the Sunbreak presentation was good. Here's the roadmap. Here's some dates. Here's what's happening. Here are monsters. And then it's Street Fighter 6, which I didn't think was presented well. Capcom Fighter Collection, I think was presented well. Capcom Arcade Second Stadium not presented well. Exoprimal not done well. Dragon's Dogma not done well. Resident Evil Village, in the Resident Evil section here, exciting announcements. Again, I just don't think presented well.
Yeah,
I'm surprised by how little Resident Evil 4 gameplay we got.
Was there any new gameplay in this? Because
there was just like
there was some walking of Leon,
but wasn't that also in the state of play?
This wasn't in the state of play, I don't think.
No,
I
don't
think
recall
so.
it in the state of play.
I'm pretty sure the state of play was just the trailer where it ends with him in the car, and that was it.
Yeah, and they showed that at the beginning of the section, and then you get into the talking head saying, "All right, cool. Now let's transition into some gameplay." And the gameplay was legit like 5 seconds of him walking around.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate because this definitely, like Greg's saying, this could have been a blog post. This totally could have been an email, all that stuff. I think that this is the closest I've seen to a blog post in video form, but I just think you shouldn't be doing that during E3 week. Like that is you really carve out something if you wanted to do it and just because I think there is value in showing your entire library of content next to each other and presenting it this way, not just in a blog post or email. But I just think the standards are going to be a little bit higher. The expectations are a little higher, and your room for disappointment is a lot higher when you're up against everyone else. But enough of all that stuff. Go for it, Eddie.
I just gonna say I thought this would have been the one where we got at least some sort of deep dive into the world tour part of Street Fighter 6. Especially since you all didn't necessarily get to play or see it at Summer Game Fest. This seems like the perfect opportunity to do that, especially when in a showcase where we got that sort of level deep dive into Exoprimal and into other games that I don't think move the needle a whole lot in the way that Street Fighter would have. It just seems like a bizarre choice to like take advantage of that. Why are they? Maybe it's not completely ready, but show what you can at least.
And I don't think they showed anything new. Like all the stuff I'm seeing here, this is the exact same trailer they dropped at State of Play. And they had a thing last week where maybe it was Summer Game Fest, so they revealed Guile as the character. You would think here that they would have another new character to show off, but I don't think we got anything new necessarily out of this.
Yeah. But sticking with Street Fighter 6, Bless, you and I got to play it at Summer Game Fest. It was a fairly limited demo, but I think it was definitely the standout game of Summer Game Fest in terms of the game of the show excitement, where every single person wanted to play that, went back to it multiple times. Not literally every single person. There's people like Greg Miller that couldn't give a fuck less, but the majority of people there were like,
it was pretty, and I went over to the Xbox streaming app.
Exactly. But with all that, I think that it was a very good showing game. And what they had there, 4 playable characters. There was Chun-Li and Ryu, and then
Jamie and Luke.
And Bless and I played about like 5 matches together, and then I played with Danny Pena a bit. He played with him a bit. We're just like bouncing around. What are your overall thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. It's doing pretty much everything I want out of a Street Fighter 6. I think, we've talked about it a lot that Street Fighter 5 comes out and people get into it. They're not feeling it as much. And over the years, they've done stuff to add in more content, add in more characters. And and the latest season has Luke, which is like the brand new character that they're touting as this guy is the future of Street Fighter. And with the Street Fighter 6 stuff, it feels like they're very much putting him front and center. Like he's next to Ryu. You're watching gameplay right now, and it is Luke that's Luke fighting Jamie, actually, right? But like you're seeing him front and center in all that stuff. I do like what they're doing in terms of the visuals of it and what Luke brought to Street Fighter 5 and how that then transitions into Street Fighter 6 in terms of in Street Fighter 5, Luke has like a lot of like ink blot stuff. There's like a lot of graffiti like pouring out of his character as he's fighting. And he's also like very combo driven. If you tap the triangle button, he goes into just a natural auto combo type deal. it seems like that's transitioning into the gameplay being a bit more accessible. Like Tim, I forget, did you get to try out the modern control scheme?
I did. Actually, I would love to talk about that here. I think that it is one of the best additions that Street Fighter has ever had. So for people that don't know, there's two control types that you can do in Street Fighter 6. One is classic and one is modern. Classic being what you expect from Street Fighter, where there's a lot of quarter circle punch combos and things like that. But modern plays like Smash Brothers, where you just kind of hold a direction forward and hit a button and it does one of your special moves. So before with Ryu, it would have to be a quarter circle punch for the Hadouken. Now it's just hold right, hit punch, and then he shoots a Hadouken. You're a little bit more limited with it, where you don't get access to every single combo and some of the more advanced moves. So that balances the people where one person's playing classic, one person's playing modern, where classic has a lot more room for different types of measures to combat you.
Like the light, middle, heavy type stuff.
Exactly. But it was really, really cool. It was hard for me to wrap my head around, because if I am semi-competent at any fighting game, that's not Smash Brothers, it is Street Fighter. So like I have my head wrapped around those combos at least a little bit, whereas like Mortal Kombat or Tekken or Virtua Fighter or things I don't know. So I kept trying to do the more classic stuff just by instinctually, but I feel like someone like Andy, who I don't think has much experience with a Street Fighter, could really get into it, because it's not dumbing down. Like, it is a very cool experience that doesn't feel like you're playing on easy mode. It feels like it's a fully featured way to play this game, even against people that have been playing forever.
That's the thing is, I tried out using the modern control scheme, and I'm not going to use it going forward, but I think it is a wonderful way to get people in. And it seems like that's a very big thing they're trying to do for Street Fighter 6. We didn't get to try out World Tour, but World Tour seems like it is going to be focused toward, having an experience where new players can come in, learn controls, fight NPCs as opposed to getting smacked by real humans, which is really helpful, right? That's the thing that I think helps NetherRealm when it comes to the Mortal Kombat story. Like, Tim, you played through the Mortal Kombat narrative, and I think you probably played through Injustice as well. And the reason why you do that is because, hey, there's not pressure here, right? It's good content, it's good story, and I get to just play this fighting game at my own pace before, or maybe even without jumping into online. It seems like World Tour is going to be that, but as far as like what we got to play and get our hands on, like modern control scheme seemed cool. Again, it was super easy. And then in terms of the characters in the field, like I really like the new characters. Luke. I mainly use Luke and Jamie. Jamie seems like he's a bit more advanced. Like, he is a drunk master capoeira type fighter. And in his control scheme, he feels very technical. He's very melee driven, and that is not my type of character. But getting my hands on him, I thought he played pretty well. Like, I had a lot of fun using him. And then going back to Luke, who I've been playing a lot of in Street Fighter 5, he plays great in Street Fighter 6. Like, he has a lot of the same moveset, but they have added in like additional stuff, right? There are certain combos that I can hit that'll then transition into a DDT that'll take out a character. But yeah, like Street Fighter 6 seems like it was the game of the show. Like, if you just talk to anybody walking around that has any like passive interest in Street Fighter 6, it seems like that was the talk of the town in the way that no other game was. And I think that feeds into one, Street Fighter 6 was one of the bigger games there, but then also I think for what it's bringing to the table in terms of style, presentation, feeling like something new, feeling like something exciting, it's hitting all those points and it's doing it well. Like it reminds me of, recently I picked back up Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, which is in addition of the franchise that a lot of people like for the style of it. They have the hip hop music playing in the character select. They have a really cool art style for that game. Like, everything about that game presentation wise is hitting. Street Fighter 6 is actually harkening back to that a little bit. Not really in the way that like it's super animated or super different from Street Fighter 5 or anything like that, but in the way that it feels like they're really leaning into making it visually distinct. Like, again, looking at the ink stuff that flies out of characters, all the visual flares, all the intros for characters where it is Ryu and Chun-Li walking out, and you're getting the factoids about the characters, like talking about Ryu hates spiders but he loves kung fu or whatever the fuck, right? Like, that stuff I think is really going above and beyond in terms of presentation. And then the music is also awesome.
Yeah, music is super rad. When we first did our reaction to this, I was saying that I wasn't in love with the art style, because I think that the ink stuff's getting a little overdone, especially in the Street Fighter thing. And I'll always prefer the Street Fighter 3 look of the more pixel arty type stuff. But playing it myself, I am very impressed. I think it really kind of blew me away and turned me around on what I think about the visuals. I think it's a very exciting game to play and watch. And when you do something and then you see it happen on screen, you feel like you've earned the flashy animations. And that's something that I think is really important for fighting games, to not just like give you every single thing, like to actually like when there's the coolest things, it should feel fucking cool as hell when you do it. And there were multiple times where Bless and I were playing where one of us would pull something off and be like, both of us would kind of be like, oh shit, that was sick, you know? And it didn't feel like entirely pre-canned motions. Like in a fighting game, of course, there's going to be special moves that can trigger an animation or whatever, but it felt very kind of fluid, and it felt like everything was perfectly going into the next thing, where it, even though it clearly was animated, like pre-done things, it felt like it was part of the live action gameplay. So I thought that was something that I did not get from Street Fighter V from my experience with it.
Is it true that Timur destroyed all of y'all?
We didn't play him.
We didn't play him, but I imagine he would have destroyed me at the very least.
Wow, sounds like you all dodged him.
Yeah.
Thank
God. I mean, I think the thing about Street Fighter 6 too that like, you know, elevated to being the game of the show status across like many outlets and many people that were there is the fact that like the demo booth did feel like an arcade. You know, like you're playing the other demos to like get your hands on a new indie game or see how Sonic Frontiers played. Whereas like I was going back to Street Fighter 6 as if it was like hey, no, we're just at an arcade. Like I'm coming back, I'm playing a few matches. Yeah, like that's me and Tim legit had a scheduled demo that we were playing where it was we booked out 30 minutes. It is us two, we're playing. And like Danny Pena from Gamertag Radio walks up and he's like, yo, let me get in. And I'm like, yeah, dude, fucking get in. Like, let's play a match. Right. Like it was that kind of environment, and having it, like experiencing it in that kind of environment that made it feel like that arcade feel, I think really did nail down the fact that it worked. Because that wasn't the only fighting game there either. Like there are other fighting games at Summer Game Fest, and none of them had that kind of like revolving. Oh yeah, dude, you play Street Fighter 6?
You figure Street Fighter the entire time that we were there, Street Fighter had an audience. Like that wasn't normal for the booths.
Yeah, and on top of that, I think that calling it the game of the show, unlike every single other game there wasn't a single person I talked to that played it that didn't love it. And I think that's kind of the key thing. There was a couple of highlights for sure, but there was some people like, I didn't really like this or whatever. I think everyone that had any type of interest in playing Street Fighter that played it was like, dude, oh shit, this one's gonna be a good one. Like Capcom got something on their hands here, and I like you were saying earlier, Bless, like it feels a lot more finished than I expected it to. Like we thought that during this Capcom showcase they were gonna say there's a early access beta coming out, and I thought it would have been in the next couple months. Like that's how finished the bit that we played feels. And sure, we were only playing as 4 characters in 2 stages, but there was a lot of content there.
Yeah, mechanically, presentation, it felt very well put together. And you would imagine like there has to be some kind of early access beta thing with one how done it feels already. And then also with how much they're marketing it. It feels like every single day there's a new thing that they're saying about Street Fighter 6 in terms of character details, a new factoid about Ryu, right? Like a new thing about a system, a new thing about like, oh, it's crossplay. That's another thing that they confirmed during Summer Game Fest is that the game is going to be crossplay, which is really awesome as well. That's going to be great for the game. But with that, right, like it's going to be such an interesting, I'm losing my voice over the weekend. It's going to be such an interesting marketing rollout for it, because if they keep going at this pace, you'd imagine that the way that they want to do it is to have the character reveals in the way that Smash Ultimate had it over the course of the year rollout towards Smash Ultimate. You would think that they want to do that here with Street Fighter 6. The only thing is that the roster is already leaked. And so we'll see how much mileage they get out of it. I think they still stick to the plan because the guy reveal still felt cool. You know, seeing him in motion, seeing him in action, there's still stuff you can get out of there. But I wonder if they pivot. I wonder if they do something else with it.
The last thing I want to say to close this out here that I think is one of the single coolest things to ever be added to a video game, specifically a fighting game, is the commentary modes, where while you're playing, you can turn on commentary tracks from people in the fighting game community, from actual shoutcasters. And I am blown away by how it feels like there are live people actually commenting on what you are doing actively. And it makes it hype as fuck. Like it doesn't matter how good you are at the game, they are making it sound exciting, and it makes it feel like the like that moment with Daigo and Justin Wong, right? But it's fucking you playing. It's so damn cool. The thing I was most disappointed in is Street Fighter 6 was the only game at the entire Summer Game Fest that didn't have headphones. So the only way for us to hear it was through the TV audio. So it wasn't like the full experience, but from the glimpses I got, I was like, this is one of the coolest things I've ever heard.
I will say I did, in one of my times walking up playing, I did get to play it at a TV that it seemed like the volume was a little bit louder. So I got to hear the commentary a bit clearer. And yeah, it felt like that, right? It felt like they were leaning into the esports. All right, let's build the hype. Let's build the tension. Let's have people actually commentating on what you're saying. and a lot of it felt freestyled. I'm sure after playing for a bit, you're going to hear so many repeated lines. But it reminded me of playing a typical sports game, a FIFA or whatever, where you have commentary on. But that taken up to another level where it is professional esports commentators and they're commentating on the video game, right? It's them talking about, oh man, his meter is up, but his health is down. Is he gonna make it? You know, like, oh, he just pulled out the Hadouken. Like, is that gonna hit? Oh, it doesn't. Like, that live element to it not only is cool for the gimmick of it, but going back to how this Street Fighter feels like it's being tailored toward players that feel like they're newer to the franchise or are a bit more novice to the franchise. I found that they were saying a lot of things that felt really helpful for me as a player to understand what's going on. And I think that's going to be big for if Andy feels like he wants to get into Street Fighter 6 or something. I don't know if Andy's already in Street Fighter, but for anybody that wants to hop into Street Fighter 6, right? If they're not already in that ecosystem, to hear the language that they're using and hear the ways they're using these words and hear the times that they get hyped or the times where they're like, oh, they better be careful, right? Like, I think a lot of these things are hinting toward how you should play if you're new to a game like this. And I think it's going to be really helpful for new players. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be, it's early to say, but for now, right? Like, I think this is a feature I could see coming to other fighting games in the future. It does feel lightly revolutionary in that way, in a way that I was not expecting.
I'll tell you my only issue with it, with how flashy and cool the meters and bars look, the fight animation, the fight font and the font treatment, not doing it for me, Tim. The metal look, it's not working, dude.
Yeah. We'll see if it's final.
It looks like it's out of King of Fighters or like a completely different video game.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of the Capcom showcase. And until next time, I love you all. We're about to record the Games Cast where we are going to talk about every single game that we played at Summer Game Fest. You can go to patreon.com/kindafunnygames to watch that live right now. Otherwise, youtube.com/kindafunnygames tomorrow. Till next time, I love you all. Goodbye.